All right, so similar to what we talked about with Word, PowerPoint is going to operate almost the same way. Instead of headings, we're going to use titles, but this is all going to be pretty much the same thing. Again, we want to make sure all of our content is visible. If we use those built-in tools with PowerPoint, we will create an accessible PowerPoint. Okay. So we're just going to use the built-in tools. And, you know, we use that PowerPoint as an instructional tool. It's best when we don't use it by itself. We're going to use PowerPoint here. I'm going to go over this, and then we're going to do a hands-on presentation together. Now, we're going to have 10 tips about PowerPoint to make it accessible, and we're going to create a 5-slide slideshow that's going to probably hit all 10 of those, that will hit all 10 of these. Now, the main thing that you can do to create accessible PowerPoint presentations, just use the built-in slide layouts. That's like 80% of it. Just use the built-in slide layouts. If you think of those slide layouts as buckets or containers, anything you put in that container is going to be accessible, with 2 exceptions that I'll show you later. Anything in that bucket's going to be accessible with 2 small exceptions that we'll go over. So you're going to use the built-in slide layouts. Every slide has to have a unique title. So if you're doing something on, like, say you teach geography, you may do Geography 1 of 6, Geography Part 1. Just give each slide a unique, distinctive title. We'll talk about built-in lists. Now remember, we're going to use those built-in slide layouts. The list for those slide layouts is bullets is the default. We'll go over how to change that, how to make that look a little bit different, okay? So we're going to insert this list. Again, we're going to use this built-in slide layouts. We have lists. The default for the list is bullets and those built-in slide layouts. And we'll use that paragraphs group to change the list, similar to what we did in Word. That paragraphs group in PowerPoint is going to work almost exactly the same. And we'll go over that. Now I want to just show you something real quick. If you did the Word training, some of you did not, these slide titles act as sort of our headings. Again, we can just click on a slide title. It'll take us to that slide. It lets us navigate. Here, on the left, you see how this is all jumbled up? This is because I added text boxes. Okay? I added a bunch of text boxes to that one. That's why it's jumbled up like that. Now, if I had an instructor ask me, but I want to have 6 little things in this slide. And my question to her was just, is PowerPoint the best tool for that? Or is there a way we can break that down? So think about kind of what you're teaching, how you're teaching, or even if you don't teach, what you're trying to get across to your audience. Sometimes PowerPoint might not be the tool you should be using. I don't know. Depends on what you're teaching. Now we're going to talk about this a lot too. Again, I don't care if you use color. I'm not the color police, right? This is not North Korea. I'm not Kim Jong-un, right? This is America. We can use red and green if we want to. Just use something else besides just color to convey meaning. So use bold, italics, just use something else. So use that bold or italics. Don't underline it. Sometimes people may think that's a hyperlink. So you see down here, they just use bold and italics to sort of emphasize what they want it to bring across. So don't convey meaning just with color. And we talked about this one a lot too. We talked about those theme considerations, those color contrasts. Again, that's just common sense. Is it readable? Can I read it? Do these colors make sense? As far as what I'm trying to convey, is it easy to read? And only you can answer that. The accessibility checker cannot. So we're going to talk about alt text. We talked about it in Word. We're going to talk about it in PowerPoint, how to insert alt text. And remember, I said you basically use pictures for 3 reasons. I don't care whether you teach or you don't. Use pictures as decoration mostly. You use them as an example of something, or the picture becomes actual content. So depending on what you teach, a picture can be actual content. It just depends. So we're going to talk about a long description. Think of that as a caption. These long descriptions are going to be for everybody to use and enjoy. Now I told you anything that we put in those buckets or containers is going to be accessible, except for 2 things. Tables is one of them. But we can easily make it accessible. I'll show you how to do that. And again, we're going to make sure that we use the tables as simple data tables. Okay, we're not going to do anything extra with those tables. So again, we'll use one like that. You've got date, you've got event description, you got a timeline. It's just simple data. And we talked about hyperlinks in Word. We'll talk about the same thing in PowerPoint. We want to answer where are we going, what are we going to see, and what happens. Like this, it says visit Zhongwei's Chinese characters, opens in a new window to learn more about the Chinese language. Then we have the direct link. And I'm going to argue that the top one's just better pedagogy than the bottom one. Click here and here to learn more about the Chinese language. To learn what about it? To learn the bad words, to learn to speak it, to learn to write it, learn what about it. Up here, the top one gives me more context of what I'm going to learn about the Chinese language. And we're going to go over some multimedia stuff. I'm going to show you a quick YouTube trick when we do our actual slideshow. And please, these weird transitions and GIFs, don't do that. And I always argue it's because it's tacky. It really has nothing to do with accessibility. It's just kind of tacky. But it is an accessibility feature, but it's, if you want to do a simple slide transition, that's fine. But all that rolling stuff, this stuff, I mean, come on. We all know that's kind of tacky, don't we? Just a little bit. Right? Or is it just me? I guess it's just me. That is an accessibility feature, but I think it's more tacky than anything else. So I really kind of avoid that. And then we'll talk about the accessibility checker. So we talked about a lot of things here, but now we're going to open up PowerPoint together. We're going to make a 5-slide presentation. And today, you're going to learn more about Mongolia than you ever wanted to know. We're going to do a 5-slide presentation on Mongolia, and hopefully we are going to cover most of the things we talked about, okay? So let's open up PowerPoint. So I'm going to go to File for me, and I'm just going to go to New and blank document. All right, so I've got my new blank document. Now I've got just a plain document. I have not in any way added anything. I have not changed my design or my themes or whatever. Doesn't matter now. We're going to do this 5-slide presentation. Let's type in for our title slide. Let's type in Mongolia. And for the subtitle, let's type in Land of the Blue Sky. And now just for illustration, let's run our accessibility checker right here. And let's just go to File, and we'll check for issues, and we'll check accessibility. And we should get the green check mark, right? Because, again, what I did was I just used those built-in slide layouts. I didn't do anything extra. I gave that title slide a unique title because it was a title. So if I use those built-in features of PowerPoint, just like I did with Word, side effect that is accessibility. Yes, sir.
Does the accessibility checker in PowerPoint check the instructor notes section as well as the presentation itself?
Not unless you're the instructor and you set it to do that.
Okay.
You got to do that through the screen reader, but no, it's not. No, it's not going to do that. So,
like if I've made notes to a presentation that I want to post online for the students to have as a resource, it's not necessarily checking all of those notes that I put in, like that I would see as I'm giving the presentation.
no, not if you send me the presentation, right? So let me make sure. Do you want the students to see those notes?
Yeah, if I've made notes
Oh.
presentation and I'm going to post it in my Moodle shell so that they have it, they can go back and look at it.
Yeah, the screen reader will read. Yeah, yes.
It'll read those, but will the accessibility checker check the notes section attached to each slide?
No.
So, so I just need to be really careful on how I'm putting those notes in and making sure I'm using the paragraph tools and stuff.
Yeah, but it kind of is redundant. It doesn't matter because it won't really check them for, as long as you use that built-in tool. Like you remember when I did that alt text and I just typed the letter Z in,
Yeah.
and it's only checking that you use that built-in layout.
Right.
So again, that's one of those common sense that you're going to have to.
Okay.
Because remember, this accessibility checker, it's very powerful, but it's very dumb. Okay, all it's checking for is, did you use those built-in features? And if I send this to somebody who uses a screen reader, will a screen reader read it? That's all it's asking. Doesn't care about color contrast, doesn't care about what your content even looks like. That's kind of not the function of it. So all right, so we've got Mongolia, we got Land of the Blue Sky. It's saying that we're good to go. So I told you we're going to do 5 slides. We've got 4 more to do. Let's go to new slide and let's pick for our layout. Let's pick a title and 2 content. And as you'll notice, we immediately get an error because what did we not do? We didn't give slide 2 a title. So let's give slide 2 a title now. And when we type this title in, that should disappear right here. So let's just type in flag. So as I said, anything in those built-in layouts, these buckets or containers, whatever you want to call them, if I give every slide a unique title, anything I put in these buckets or containers is going to be accessible with 2 exceptions, and I'm about to show you one now. So our second slide just says flag. Let's go down here, right here in our first little bucket, right? We have online pictures. Does everybody see that? Let's click on online pictures. And that should open up a Bing search box for us. So I'm going to type in the Bing search. You're going to type in the clip art, you Mac users, but we're going to type the same thing in. We're going to type Mongolian flag. Mongolian flag. And it really doesn't matter if you do what I do here. Just pick a representation, one of these Mongolian flags. I'm going to choose the third one. Doesn't really matter. And I'm going to insert it. All right, and I should get a missing alt text. Now, some of you, you're going to notice, I'm sure this will happen to probably 1 or 2 of you, you may not get that missing alt text, depending. Did you just insert one, you Mac users back there?
I'm trying to insert a clip art.
So we should be seeing this missing alt text. Some people inserted the flag and didn't get the alternative text error, which is good. I'm going to show you why right now. Okay. So let's right-click on our picture here, our image, and let's go down here to Format Picture. And here under Size and Properties, your last one will be alt text. So I've got my alt text. Remember, I don't have to put anything in the title for alt text, just the description. Now, let's talk a little bit about alt text for a second here. Let's say that I've been hired today, hypothetically, to teach geography here at Blue Ridge Community College. Well, my geography class that I'm teaching about Mongolia, I've always wanted to visit there. I have no idea why. Maybe it's the barbecue. This flag is actual content. Right? In my class, that flag is actual content. So for my alt text, I'm just going to put, right now, for my alt text, all I'm going to put is Mongolian flag. And then I'll close it. Now I'm going to write a long description of that Mongolian flag, right? Everybody's flag means something to that country, right? Look at our North American neighbors here. The maple leaf in Canada, it represents the maple trees in Canada there. The eagle and the snake in Mexico represents the Aztecs, people of Mexico. All these, any symbols on a flag means something to people in that country, right? So in my class, I want everybody to have access to that long description. So even my quote unquote normal students, they'll look at the picture, read the caption, look at the picture, read the caption. Hopefully that'll make it easier for them to make that connection, theoretically anyway. And my people that use screen readers, they'll hear image Mongolian flag, and then it'll read that description to them. So they're doing the exact same thing. So for my alt text, I just put what it is. It's the Mongolian flag, because in that other box, I'm going to explain exactly what I want them to know about the Mongolian flag. And we'll just do a brief one, and we'll just say that, let's see, the flag of Mongolia consists of 3 vertical stripes of red, blue, and red. The Soyombo is a symbol that represents earth, sky, moon, and water, and is an abstract geometric pattern on the first red stripe. The yin-yang symbol is below the Soyombo and represents Mongolia's people. All right, so I have my long description. I still need my alt text. I'm still good as far as accessibility because I gave every slide a unique title. I use those built-in layouts. Anything I put in those buckets is going to be accessible, except for 2 things. I just showed you one. I'm about to show you the other one. You'll see it in just a second. I won't talk about that any further right now. Let's do so we've done 2 slides here. Again, we used the built-in layouts, gave them a unique title. We put everything in those buckets or containers, those layouts, like it was. We didn't add any text boxes. We didn't add any word art. We simply used the tool the way it was developed. That's kind of all we did. So let's add our 3rd slide here. This one, let's do a new slide with just a title and content. This one we'll call Economy. And in this one, we're going to insert a table here. So we're going to do 3 columns and 3 rows. We're going to insert a table. So we have right here, we're going to go number of columns 3, number of rows 3, and we'll click OK. All right, now remember, I showed you in Word that tables read left to right, top to bottom. We did the tab test. I showed you that for a reason. We're going to bring that all back together now, okay? So we're just going to type in right here, we're going to type in imports We're going to hit the tab key. We're going to type exports. And we're going to hit the tab key again, and we're going to type industries. For imports, we're going to put cars. We'll hit the tab key. For exports, we're going to put coal. For industries, we're going to put tourism. For imports, we're going to put machinery. For exports, we're going to pick ores, iron ore. And for industries, we're going to pick forestry. Okay, so if you look at the accessibility checker, it says you're missing alt text for the table. Now, I told you anything we put in those buckets or containers would be accessible. I said there was 2 exceptions. So let's look at the exceptions now. I'm going to go up here to my ribbony tab here. I'm going to click on View, and I'm going to click on Outline View. Now, in Outline View, you see the table titles. They act the same way as headings in Word, but you should notice something. There were 2 things that we put in this PowerPoint that we can't see now. One of them was that image of the flag, and another one was that table. Right? They're not viewable. The only way they're viewable, we have to add that alt text in. So if we know this table is not viewable, what should our alt text be? Exactly what's in the table, right? That's the only way it's going to be viewable. Now, we're just going to list it. So let's add our alt text for this table for economy. Now, it's never going to be viewable here in Outline View. It's just the way it works. You'll never be able to see images or tables in that Outline View, just unless they change it in PowerPoint 2020 maybe. Perhaps they'll do that. But right now, as of March 16, 2017, any image or table you put in PowerPoint in those containers is not going to be viewable in your Outline View. The only way to make it so is through that alt text. So we're going to do something interesting with the alt text here. I'll go back to normal view, and I'll go back to home. If I know that none of this is viewable in that table, my alt text has to be what's in that table. So I'll just right click on the table. I'll go down to Format Shape. I'll go right here to where it says Size and Properties. And for alt text, I'm going to type in Mongolia's economy. Economy consists of imports of cars and machinery, exports of coal and iron ore, and industries of tourism and forestry. That way, people using the screen reader, everybody has access to the same information. Do you see why I did that there? It's just not viewable. It's not viewable any other way. So I have to put exactly what's in that table inside that alt text. And I'm getting my green check mark here, which we want. So in these 3 slides already, we've shown you that if you use the built-in slide layouts, like I said, if you give every slide a unique title, if you add alt text to images and tables, which you have to do in Word as well, and you have to do in PowerPoint, you don't add any word art, any transitions, any animated GIFs, and I call them GIFs, sorry. You know, right? Any animated GIFs, you're going to have an accessible PowerPoint. All we've done, we haven't done anything extra. We just use those built-in layouts. We use that tool the way it was developed. Now, as I go on, if you need to stop me, stop me. If you tune me out, here on the other side, you have your color handout on PowerPoint, which details everything we've done here. So on the way out, you'll just pick up one of these, share with a friend or a colleague if you are so inclined. But everything we've talked about, all those steps are listed right in here in color with screenshots. But basically, some of you have been with me twice already. Feel sorry for you, but anyway, the theme that should have emerged was, if I learn Word, PowerPoint, better. I learn to use the built-in tools. I use those as developed. A side effect of that is going to be accessibility. The benefit for you is you're going to be more efficient, quicker, and easier when you create those presentations or those Word documents. It's going to be quicker and easier for you. Side effect is that it's accessible. So it's one of those rare times when everybody wins. It's like Taco Tuesday. Everybody wins, right? Everybody's happy.
How does the alt text for that show up in the outline?
Oh, it doesn't show up in the outline. Remember, anytime, none of that's going to show up. It's only going to show up through that alt text. That's just a quirk of the program. I asked the lady about that, and she gave me the same answer.
That's okay. I misunderstood. You said that it doesn't show up in the outline. The only way that shows up is through alt text. And I was like, oh, so if you add alt text, it shows up that way in the outline.
Yeah, no. So we got 3 of our slides and said we were only going to do 5. If you think about it, the slideshow and what's in here, we've covered most of the principles of PowerPoint accessibility already. Just by using the built-in tools, giving them each a unique title, not adding anything extra. That's really all we've done. Now let's do our 4th slide. So I'm going to go with a new slide. This one I'll just do a title and one content. And this one I'm going to call climate. And we're going to talk about those ordered lists in a minute. And I'm just going to type in extreme continental climate. Of short summers and long cold winters. Averages less than 15 inches of rain a year. And averages 250 days of sunshine. That's why it's called Land of the Blue Sky. All right, so again, if we were to visit Mongolia right now, we probably wouldn't have to worry about snow, but it would be very, very cold, right? So, but we'd have sunshine, right? The skies would be blue. That's why they call it Land of the Blue Sky. Rarely ever rains, 250 days of sunshine a year. So they have short summers, long cold winters, not a lot of rain or snow to worry about, and going to get a lot of sunshine. So we talked about that paragraphs group earlier, and again, this is for the people who weren't here. I'm acting like I'm just teaching you guys, but there are people who weren't here, so my bad. I'm going to use these built-in features up here, and in this paragraphs group, anytime I have that bucket or container, those built-in layouts, the default is bullets. Say I don't like bullets, right? This is America. I don't have to use bullets, right? This is North Korea. I'm not Kim Jong-un. We don't have to use bullets if we don't want to. So let's change this list. We can number it. We can use those different types of bullets if we want to. Let's do that. Now the default is, and I told you again and again, you're tired of hearing it, anything in these containers is going to be accessible by default, long as I don't add anything else. The only things that will not be accessible in those containers are images, unless I add alt text, and tables, which are called shapes. So let's change this list. I don't like bullets, okay? And I'm an American. I don't have to use bullets if I don't want to. So I'm just going to go up to the paragraphs group, similar to what I did in Word, and I'm going to use these squares, or these that look like asterisks, or these things. So I can change anything there as far as numbering or lettering. They call those ordered lists. If I click on all bullets and numbering, it gives me numbers and bullets. I can do sort of whatever I want to here, as long as I do it through that paragraphs group, okay? So if you don't like bullets, you want to change it, just go up to the paragraphs group here, and, pick one you like. If you want to see the numbers and the bullets at the same time, just go to bullets and numbering, and then you can switch between the two. Do whatever you want.
Even make custom made ones.
That's right. You can actually customize it. Again, people underestimate this. That's one of the...
You can put little badges in it, Phil.
Exactly. You think they can do that in North Korea? The answer is no. Only in America can you customize your own bullets.
Literally, you can't. The North Korea version doesn't have those features.
That's... I'm telling you, for real. I actually lived in South Korea for a while. With my Uncle Sam. Anyway, that's another story. So, I changed mine to those squares. And again, I just use that built-in feature. That's what PowerPoint calls those ordered lists. They're just bullets and numbers. That's it. So as you can see, we're still accessible. Remember, we're not going to count. That green check mark does not tell us what is accessible. We are human beings. We are the only ones who can ensure what is and is not accessible. A machine can't do that for us. So we still have to be able to look at stuff and see if it's readable or relatable. So we only have one slide to go, but before we go with this slide, I want you to take a little break and just watch me for just a second, okay? Or watch my screen for a second, not watch me. Please don't watch me. When I go to YouTube, and I know some of you know how to do this, but if you do, it's just a review. And let's say I type the words Mongolia in here. It doesn't matter what search term I use. I could type in Korean boy bands, whatever. Okay? Doesn't matter. And there's a lot more Korean boy bands than you would think. But I could type that in. Doesn't matter my search term. So I typed in Mongolia, and I go to search. There's this filters command right here. Now, what's good about this filters command is it's very powerful. So I know that the videos I have should be captioned. So let's filter for captions. So you can see I've got 903,000 results related to Mongolia. So I want to filter them. I only want to see ones that are subtitled or closed caption. But that's not it. I'm not done. Also, you see I have these thick glasses, I can't see well. I only want ones that are done in HD. So I already went from 900,000 to 14,800. Then I'm going to go to HD. I'm down to 7,380. And then I also only want ones that are short. So I'm going to filter by length. I want ones that are under 4 minutes in length. And then let's say I only want ones that were done this year. Now, this year doesn't mean January 1st to March 16th. It means March 16th, 16 to March 16th, 17. Okay, it doesn't mean this year as far as January. But it doesn't matter what search term I type in. Doesn't matter. I'm always going to have that filters command. And I can filter by closed captions. I can filter by length, HD, whether it's in 4K, came out this year, by, let's look at the filters. I can filter all kinds of ways. So if I click on the filters, again, I have 4K or HD, 3D, the date they were uploaded, how many times it's been viewed, the rating, the upload date, the duration. See, I can literally type in again, Korean boy bands. And I also have the filters. I can filter by HD. Let's see what Korean boy bands have come out this year. I can filter by closed caption. Doesn't matter. Again, doesn't matter what term I type in here, I'm always going to have these filters. And I can filter by anything, essentially. Well, those three. Basically, I can filter by subtitles, date it was uploaded, the length of it, and the format. Is it HD? Is it 4K? That way. So when you say, I can't find any captioned videos, really, in all of YouTube, you can't find a captioned video. Oh, and by the way, if you do have a video that you want to see and it says it's captioned, you should watch it. Don't do like me, kids. I did a computer video for my class, and there was something on the guy's screen that I didn't watch the whole thing. I just made sure it was captioned. I didn't watch it, which I should have. There was something on a guy's screen at the end that shouldn't have been there. It wasn't anything too bad, but you know, it was questionable.
On the searching for the ones that are already captioned, is that the auto captioning done by YouTube, or is that the captioning that somebody's specifically done? You may have said it, but I missed
It
it.
could be either way.
So
That's why you have to watch it. Yeah,
Okay.
yeah. It could be, they could be great captions or they could be bad captions. All it's checking for is, are there captions there? So that's another reason to make sure you watch whatever that video is.
YouTube has a pretty nice interface if you are captioning your videos too.
Yeah. And I will say, if you're doing your own videos, now YouTube's auto captions have gotten a lot better now. I have a thick Southern accent. So when I say the color green, it comes out as collard greens, or, I mean, it's just weird. I don't have you saying weird stuff. But what I do like about YouTube's captions or auto captions is it timestamps everything for you. So all I have to do is go back in there and just type maybe 1 or 2 words or change things. But their auto captions are pretty good if you record yourself and it's, you know, your channel. So I'm going to do this. I'm going to type in search box National Geographic Mongolian wedding video. All right, so I've seen this one. I know that this video is closed caption because I've seen it like 100 times. So what I'm going to do is, my last slide, I'm going to share this video with my students. So I'm going to copy this web address. I'm going to go back to my PowerPoint. I'm going to go to new slide. I'm going to just do title and content. I'm going to call it Mongolian images. And I'm going to say to see Mongolia's geography, watch this YouTube video. And then I'll just do, I'll do brackets and say new window. All right, so I want to make this my clickable link because it answers those 3 questions. I'm going to highlight it. I'm going to right click on it. I'm going to go right down here to where it says hyperlink. I'm just going to paste that address in. I'll click OK. Then as usual, I'm going to do direct link. I'll paste it again. If I make a mistake here and that becomes a clickable link, you see over there it says, warning, unclear hyperlink text. I'm just going to highlight, right click. I'm going to go down here to remove hyperlink. Okay, now the reason let's talk about this for a second. The reason I'm going to leave that direct link is, hey, one of my students might actually like this video and want to share it with a friend. Hey, it could happen. Far-fetched, but it could happen. That way they can just copy and paste and send to their friend if they want to. The reason I answer those 3 questions is, again, this gives the student a little more context of what they're going to see, what's going to happen. It just makes more sense, a little more from a pedagogical standpoint. It just makes a little bit more sense, okay? And they have control. If they want to watch it, they can click on it or not click on it. They could copy it and go there later. They don't have, I'm not forcing them to conform to the way I created it. I'm letting them sort of do their own thing. Yes?
What about embedding a video in the PowerPoint?
Okay, well, I'm glad somebody asked that because I was about to show you. Let's do the same thing here. I said this would be 5 slides, now it's 6, but that's okay, right? That's all right. Y'all asked. So let's go with the new slide and title and content. And I'll do the same thing. I'll say Mongolian images. And let's go ahead and I'll show you why I don't. And again, this is you brought up an interesting question and we're going to have a discussion here. But y'all ever notice that sometimes what you say is not necessarily what people hear?
What'd you do right there to get that?
Oh, I'm sorry. I just went to use this bucket here. I just went to insert video. Yeah, and this will embed the video for me. I'm going to search for YouTube. I'm going to take that same video I had, Mongolia. I'll type National Geographic.
Okay, so when I do that, it takes me to my movie files on my computer. It doesn't give me a...
Oh, yeah, that's right. But the principle is going to be the same as far as the embedding. So just pick any file you have, doesn't matter, any movie you have, and just embed it. It doesn't even really matter what the movie is. All right, so remember, this is the same video that we chose, right? We know this is captioned. I'm going to embed it. Well,
Can you just copy the link in there?
I could, but I wanted to do it this way just to, maybe this will make sense, maybe not, I don't know. All right, so number 1, I don't have alt text for this, which is fine. I'm going to add alt text for this right now. So I'll go to Format Video. I'll go to alt text, and I'm just going to say Mongolian wedding video. All right, so I got that. I have a duplicate slide title. Let me fix that real quick. Mongolian images 2. Got rid of that. Now, you see this? Here's why I don't embed. It says ensure caption use. Now, I know this video is captioned because I've watched it like 50 times. The accessibility checker has no way of knowing whether this is captioned or not. Now, let me say this. I'm going to say this very carefully so everybody hears what I'm saying. Remember, I told you don't rely on that green check mark. Tips you can live with, depending. Okay, I want y'all to hear this. Tips you can live with. If I send this to Ed, right, his screen reader will read all of that. No problem. No problem. The reason I don't embed videos, though, the reason I don't do it is a usability thing. Has nothing to do with accessibility. So in other words, if I wanted to embed that video and then I want to send that to Ed, it's no problem. he can do it. Now, tips, again, tips are different from errors and warnings. They're different. You guys took us on a left turn here, but that's okay. I told you in the beginning that green check mark, it does not ensure accessibility. Really, all that does is tell you what's not accessible, not what is. A person's got to have to do that. That technology does not exist. It cannot make judgments. So tips, in general, you can live with. In this case, in that one case. And there's another one in Word, but since you've already taken Word, we won't talk about that. Okay, but tips you can live with, because they're just asking you, are you sure that this video is captioned? Because PowerPoint has no way to check all YouTube videos for captions, right? It doesn't do that. But I still never embed, and it's not because of this. It's because I want my student to have control over when they see that video and when they don't. I want them to be able to share that URL if they want to. I want the student to have more control over it. That, for me, is a usability thing. It is an accessibility thing, but for me personally, I see that as usability. I just think it's easier. I mean, feel free to disagree. As I said, we're not in North Korea. But to me, I think this way is better than that way. I just think it gives the user control over when they want to see that video. It's not embedded. They don't have to hunt for that URL. Again, that's why I do it. But remember, you don't have to do what I do, right? I'm me, you're you. So I don't recommend embedded videos. I don't like them simply from a usability standpoint. That's why I don't use them, and I don't recommend them. But, I mean, some people are just gonna do it, and fine. I told you earlier, I am not the accessibility police. Not my job. I don't, and if the job came open, I would not take it. I don't want that job. But to me, this just makes it doesn't give the user control, it just embeds a video in there. I don't like it personally. That doesn't mean I'm right. It just means I don't like it. I don't think it's as usable. So that's why I don't personally embed videos. Bless you. So let's, again, I'm going to get rid of this slide personally, because I don't like it. If you want to do that, remember I told you, errors and warnings are different from tips. Not that different, and they're very, very specific, okay? Anytime I send something out, I want to have that green check mark just to make sure that it's accessible and everybody can read it. Now, is that green check mark the only thing that ensures that? I hope we've shown today that it is not. I still have to look and make sure that it's just readable. So let's talk now a little bit. We have our 5 slides done. Let's talk a little bit about design. And let's talk a little bit about, colors. Again, you are going to have to decide what kind of colors or what kind of design you want. That accessibility checker does not check for color contrast. It can't do that. It only asks one question. Can a screen reader user access this content? That's all it asks. Not is it viewable, not font size, not color contrast. Only is it viewable by a screen reader. That's all that accessibility checker is asking. It asks and answers simply one question. So as you're going through, you've got to look, you've got to choose the proper color contrast. You've got to choose the design elements that you want. Do they look good? Do they make sense? Any questions on anything we've done, anything that was not clear, or maybe I went too fast?
I have a question on the ongoing images when you put in the YouTube video. Because I was so into watching you that I didn't see what you did here. So now, the unclear hyperlink, I don't remember what you did.
Okay, I got a question on the unclear hyperlink text, and I'll do it right here, which hopefully will answer it. So, if I go back and I by mistake make that link clickable, and then I run my accessibility checker, it's going to say unclear hyperlink text. So I'll show you how to get rid of that. So what I do is now I made it clickable. I've got the same problem you've got. I'm going to highlight this URL. I'll right click on it, and then I'll go right down here to where it says remove hyperlink. And I'll just take it off so that it's not a hyperlink. And then that'll get rid of it for me. So no questions about anything we've done, about design elements. Let's review, kids. We said use the built-in slide layouts, give every slide a unique title, use those buckets or containers, anything in there that you put in there is going to be accessible by default. That's just how the program's built. We didn't add any word art or decoration. We didn't add any stuff like that. We made sure we had a unique title for each of those pages. Anytime we added a shape, a table essentially is a shape, or an image, we used alt text. We used those built-in layouts. We didn't add any kind of funky transitions or any animated GIFs. And if we do that, that PowerPoint is going to be accessible. It gets down to just using the built-in layouts, using the tool the way it was developed. If you do that, you're accessible. So I hope you people that have been here for multiple sessions have gotten the theme of, again, use that accessibility checker, use those built-in features. If I do that, accessibility is a side effect of you learning to use Word and PowerPoint. That is all it is. Are there really no questions? You understood everything.
Early on, and sometimes still now, we're encouraged oftentimes if we're going to post this in a learning management shell to save it as a PDF for accessibility for people who don't have PowerPoint. Is it the same thing as Word for the most part? It should retain its accessibility.
The same way we did with the Word works with PowerPoint too. And I will email that to Judith. I had printouts of that, I just didn't bring it. But yeah, so it works exactly the same way. But don't your students have 365 here? So they should have, don't they have access to Word and PowerPoint?
Yeah, they have access to it. It's
You
still
just
there.
have to sign up for it.
Oh, yeah, I know how that goes. I know how that goes. I definitely know how that goes.